Welcome back to another video. So new construction, custom home builds versus production home builds.
Right.
So that is a vastly different topic. And a lot of people, when we mention new construction, are like, but I need a house sooner than that. That's going to take a very long time to build, right? Well, it depends on what type of new construction we're talking about. So if you're thinking about building a brand new home or just curious what that might look like, this video is for you. So if you're new here, my name is Ryan Hensy, and this is my dear sweet mother,
Karen Hensy.
And we run the Top Hat Connections real estate team here in Tulsa, serving, of course, Tulsa and the surrounding areas. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more real estate information. On this channel, we also share living in Tulsa content and lifestyle in Tulsa and the surrounding areas, and home tours as well. So if you like any of those things, this is the place for you.
Right.
So without further ado, what are some of the differences between production building versus a custom home construction?
Well, Ryan, tell me, if I buy a new home, do I have to buy the lot and then buy the home? How's that work?
So that's a common misconception. So a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I got to build a new home. I need to go find some land, right? Well, it depends. If you're doing a custom construction, yes, in those cases, you kind of already have to have the land or at least have a lot picked out in a neighborhood that you're planning on purchasing and then building your custom home on. Now, with production builders, though, that builder has purchased the entire subdivision, right? So they own every single lot. They have a set amount of each type of floor plan that they're going to build. And in those cases, you don't need the lot because the lot price is already factored into the whole. It's all factored into one package. So when they quote you the price, that price includes the lot when you're dealing with buying a production build versus building a custom home from scratch.
Very good. Very good.
Another common thing is how long does it take to actually build a home? So depending on the size of house, if it's your average, 1,500 to 2,500 square foot house, it really doesn't take that long. I mean, they can have a whole home framed up in as little as 2 weeks, depending on the weather. Once the framing is done, a lot of that interior portion, putting up the sheetrock and all of that, that's what can take a little bit more time just because there's a lot of more moving parts in that part of the process. But as far as getting the frame up, that usually only takes about 2 weeks is what I've been told by builders.
It all depends on the weather.
It does depend on the weather.
Yes.
But from start to finish, average, if it's a production builder and they've built several of these types of homes, it's not a custom home, like a one-of-a-kind design, they can build those really in as little as 4 to 6 months. It really depends on where it is, how big it is, and how soon you need it.
Some of the builders have give you the options on what you want in your home, or maybe you can add a porch or something like that. Little things like that could take a little bit more time, but yeah, not too bad.
As a general rule, though, it's about 4 to 6 months, again, depending on time of year and what weather that you're having.
Right.
But yeah, that's a common one I hear a lot. So it really depends on what you're wanting to accomplish. So if we're trying to build our dream home and we are getting custom floor plans, or maybe we're working with a builder to have them help us with our floor plans, that process can take a little bit longer because it's more involved. You're kind of creating something brand new. Whereas when you're doing production building, and just to clarify, production builder, again, this is a developer who has purchased an entire tract of land. They own the neighborhood. They're building, they're already planning to build, 100, 150 houses in this development. They've already purchased all the materials in bulk. They already have it planned out. So in those cases, it's totally different from a custom home construction.
Right. While
While you may still get to choose, your cabinet colors, different floor colors, things like that, the floor plan itself really is not changing. But in a custom home, it can be whatever you want. You have your plans built out by an architect or an engineer, and then you have the architect to build.
Sometimes they have the plans.
Yeah.
Like they'll have 5 or 6 for you to choose from, but you can bring your own.
Absolutely. And some true custom home builders will also help you. Like if you have a floor plan, or maybe you like their floor plan, but you wish maybe they had an extra garage, or the porch was just a little bit bigger, or things like that, they can definitely modify the floor plan And I will say that is a much easier option, is to slightly modify a floor plan to make it fit versus starting completely from scratch, because there's a lot of cost involved when you start from scratch. You need to get the blueprint drawn up. You have to have them approved by the engineer. Then you have a lot of city planning that goes into that, with making sure the home meets the requirements of that development. There's no, architectural restrictions and things like that. So it can get kind of monotonous, but a good custom home builder can help you through that process and make it a lot smoother. But that is the big difference. And what I want you to take away from this video is custom home construction versus production building. Both can be great options. It really just depends on what your needs are and the time frame that you're looking at. With as far as price goes, your production builders are always going to be cheaper, because those builders are buying in bulk to build many houses at one time each year. And so they buy all the materials in bulk. Those savings are passed on to you as the consumer. And a lot of times because they're building so many houses, they have a lot more resources available to them, as far as helping with closing costs, or maybe giving you some extra upgrades that you wouldn't necessarily get with a custom home builder, because they just have more funds available to them on their profit and loss statement, so to speak, because they've planned it all out to the dollar. So with custom construction, you're dealing with, I need to buy the lot. And then because the financing looks a little bit different on a custom home, it may cost more money up front as well. So typically, if it's your first home, new home construction, like a custom home build, that's not going to be for you, because typically you just don't have that much money to work with when you're buying your first home. In some cases, maybe, but for the average home buyer, you're just starting out, you don't have a bunch of savings to work with. Whereas production building might be the better option. If you're wanting a brand new home, you don't really care if it's custom or not, you just want a new home, definitely production building could be a great option for you as well. So whichever side of the aisle that you're on, of course, you can reach out to us. We do work with builders as well. We're currently in a deal right now with Chateau Homes of Oklahoma, which is a very pretty house that I posted recently, but we do work with several other builders in town and can definitely connect you with one that builds the right home for you.
Nothing like the new smell.
New homes are pretty great. One of my builder friends always makes the joke, they're DNA free, you don't have to worry about,
that's a good way to put it.
what went on in the house or whatever. It's brand new. So it's definitely a great option. I think it gets overlooked a lot, especially the production building, because people hear new construction and they think of the custom side, versus there are builders that literally are going to build, even just southwest of Tulsa right now, there's first-time homebuyer homes starting at around 180 at the time of this video. They're planning on building 350 homes over there. And that's a neighborhood that's only about 25 minutes from South Tulsa. So the prices are better because it's not in town, but also there are people, they almost can't build them fast enough. So production building is a great solution to the housing shortage, but it also is a great solution if you're wanting a brand new home and maybe you need help with closing costs or stuff like that, because production builders also in most cases have their own lending department as well. So they're able to pass on even more savings because you're using their lender and they're buying their products in bulk. So all of that stuff gets passed on to you in the form of cheaper housing, but also getting a brand new product. So it can be a great option. Of course, like I said, give us a call with any of your questions. Like and subscribe for more content like this, as well as home tours and local content. And we'll see you in the next video.
Great job, Ryan.